All right, welcome back, everybody. This is season 2, episode 2 of our Getting More Famous podcast, Paranormal Watchtower. I'm Brandon Kramer. This is Ray Wright. We have brought you a special guest this evening. She'll be joining us in a few minutes. But Ray, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you been?
Not too bad. I took my daughter I got a new driver in the family, so we had to drive to Burger King for dinner tonight. So that's what
She didn't hit
uh,
nobody or nothing.
didn't hit anybody, but backing out of the Burger King parking lot was a bit of a challenge. So that
Oh
got a little
goodness.
hectic. And I'm like, I've never seen anybody make a 15-point turn just to turn around and go.
Hey, at
Whatever.
least she didn't hit nothing. What were you
No,
letting her
no,
drive?
she's doing way better. She's doing way better.
What was she driving? The minivan?
She's driving her car, which is Chevy Cruze.
So it probably wouldn't hurt nobody.
I call it the turtle shell because I'm 6'1" and you know it's not made for tall guys at all. But anyway, what have you been up to?
Not much, man. Just working, watching some paranormal lives on TikTok. Did a little
Oh,
investigating myself the other night, finally.
yeah, I was in there for part of it. I came in at the end. We maybe we should talk about
You're always coming in at the end.
it. Well, I got to watch you guys be on break, and then when he came back for 2 minutes, and we're shutting her down. I'm like, oh, what the hell?
I'll have you know that's not break. That's us letting the audience experience the live without us talking.
Right. It has nothing to do with going on a break or
Nothing.
nobody
Nothing.
needing a smoke or nothing. It has nothing
No,
to do with that.
no, we don't do
No,
that. We're good
no.
Christian kids.
Whoa. So, anyways, are you excited about our guest tonight?
Oh, I'm very excited.
I am too. It's been a little bit since we've had a guest, isn't it?
Was it Ken? Was that the last one?
I think so. Ken, yeah, Father Ken was our last one. Uh, I think, yeah. So I think it's time to bring in our guest. This guest is known recently for making a very large purchase of a super haunted place, from what I've been gathering and the videos I've been watching and the people that I've been talking to. They all say this place is super active. It's actually an old mortuary down in Kansas, in Iowa, Kansas, or no, look, Iola, Kansas.
Iola,
That's it.
Kansas.
So, but apparently it's like 15,000 square feet. Something that's huge. It's huge. 3 different floors, So, and it sounds like, and I have talked to her a little bit about the place, and she says it's pretty set up. It seems to be pretty set up and investigator friendly, so to speak.
Well, nice. We'll have some pictures, I believe, of the inside and the outside of it.
Yeah.
So be
So,
throwing those up as we go.
so the so let's bring her in, guys. I'd like to welcome in Tori.
Hello. it
There
wouldn't
she is.
it wouldn't unmute.
Welcome in, first guest of season 2.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for the opportunity.
So those of you who don't know Tori, she goes by Paranormal Tori on TikTok, and she owns Sleeper Mortuary down in Kansas that we were just talking about. Pretty large place, huh? Pretty. Um, you've owned it for how long?
I purchased it on January 9th of this year. I started negotiations for the building in October of last year. It took a little while because of like the loan process and things like that. But
Sure.
yeah,
Well, from what I hear, people are getting some pretty amazing responses from that place already.
yeah. So far, a lot of it seems audible. Typically, a lot of disembodied voices and EVPs. Excuse me. And the EVPs that people have been pulling out have been pretty epic. They're very they have a lot of human tone to them. And
So this is the place right here.
yes, yep, that's her.
Pretty fancy on the outside. You got what kind of parking do you have? What can people expect for parking once they get there?
Parking is in front of the building. The back of the building doesn't really have a lot of parking, but I do allow people to park back there.
Mhm.
Simply because there's two ways to get to the second floor. In the front of the building, which is what you're looking at, to your left, there's going to be a set of spiral staircase or spiral stairs. That is like nearly impossible to drag all of your stuff up. So I tell people they can park in back where they have a traditional set of stairs in the back, and it's a lot easier to take your stuff upstairs.
Now, I'm not going to lie, and it might be just because of the places I've been, but that's in pretty good condition.
It is. It is. A lot of people don't understand what they're getting when they do an overnight there. I've had guests rent Airbnbs for their overnight because they're expecting to walk into something that isn't in great condition, which I'm not hating on any property that's not in great condition, because definitely the crusty better, I think, in our field, but
Hey,
uh,
I've had my share of
yeah,
investigations where the conditions were
me too.
not good,
Yeah,
not good at all.
like you walk in healthy and walk out with typhoid fever.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Right.
Like the owner couldn't afford a mop
Yeah.
to sweep
But,
the floor.
I do think that locations like that, it just kind of adds to the patina and it adds to the experience. I mean, if you don't get black lung when you're in there, like what are you doing? You know what I mean? Um,
Well,
I I appreciate them, but you know,
some of those places there's a difference between the right scenery and then OSHA violations. you know.
Now, tell us a little bit about Iola, Kansas. I don't know if you ever went to Farrar, but it was out in the middle of like nowhere. Like, what did we drive? Like half hour just to go get something to eat or something like
Yeah,
that?
it was a while. I loved that place though. I really
It's
did.
cool, but like, tell us a little bit. I know it's what, south of Kansas City, I believe.
yes, it's about an hour and a half. Like if you're coming from the airport, it's about an hour and a half southwest of Kansas City. It's a small town, about 6,000 people. So I'm definitely they all of the locals know the what's going on there typically. It's small town vibes. It's actually a really cool town with a lot of historic buildings. I'm actually right off of the city square. I'm considered part of the city square, so I'm like right down in downtown Iola. I'm catty corner from the courthouse, actually. So
Nice.
yeah, it's got small town vibes, but it's big enough that there's conveniences, there's restaurants, there's Walmart, there's the dollar store. There's definitely shopping opportunities, like if you were to forget something or whatever.
Now, the most important thing to me, obviously, is food. So, what do you recommend? Where do you recommend to eat at when you come down?
1000% Sharky's. It's a block and a half away. It's a little bar and grill, and they have amazing, amazing food.
All right.
Amazing.
Shout out to Sharkies.
There you go.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
We'll expect a check, Sharkies. Just saying.
Now here's a picture here that I've got questions about.
For sure.
Let me bring this up real quick. Like it's even like seeing it large, like now I'm even more worried. What's going on here?
Oh, I know what this is.
So that is a recent purchase. That is a mid to late 1800s Oddfellows casket from Iowa. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. I knew that I had to have it because I know that these don't come up for very often. So the story with this casket is that when all of the chapters in Iowa closed, they shipped all of the memorabilia to central locations in Iowa and they auctioned them off. This casket, in particular, held the body of a 14-year-old American Indian female. Um, I don't know how long she was in there. I don't know, like her date of birth. I don't know when she died. All I know is that she was 14 and an American Indian female. And in the 90s, when all of these caskets were shipped, I guess they couldn't auction with human remains. And so she was buried in a cemetery in Guthrie Center, Iowa, in the 90s at some point in time. And that's all I know about her. I've been trying to find her. I don't think that I will find her because of the nature of, the Odd Fellows. I don't feel like any of that was probably publicized. Um, I'm, I don't know how they did things, but I'm not entirely sure that they probably got possession of her body by conventional means. Like I don't know. I don't know how she got in there. But these caskets, they weren't made to be buried. They were made for ceremonial purposes. And I was told in particular, this casket was also used in plays that the Oddfellows put on, and the female that was inside was used as a prop in those plays. Um,
The
yeah.
fuck? All
Well,
right, like
well,
I guess I see where they get their name.
Ray, the story should sound familiar to you because I have the Oddfellows skeleton.
Yeah, you have the skeleton.
Right. And
She's
that
got the
casket right there is what she came out of. And my skeleton is also a female, but not from that area,
Really? Like, was that an Oddfellows thing to have female?
Yes, it's an Oddfellows ritual skeleton. And Tori there, that what we're looking at is an Oddfellows ritual casket,
Yeah.
which would hold said skeleton uh, uh, for the rituals that they would put people through.
And that's how you get a haunting. Right there. What were they doing with they just like a mascot or something?
Well, I don't know. Brandon probably knows more about the Oddfellows than I do. I've only really kind of begun looking into them fairly recently, simply because I have an Oddfellows ceremonial mask on display in the mortuary as well. So I don't really know a whole lot about them, but I do believe it was just ceremonies that they like new members that were coming in. From what I gather, they were do-gooders. They were meant to enrich people's lives and things like that. However, I do believe that there might have been a darker side to that because I just don't know that. I mean, normal people don't have bodies.
The info that she just gave you is what they put out to the public.
Do you know some behind the scenes?
Yes, that's their public persona. They often used fear tactics to intimidate their what do you call people trying to get into their clique. What they would do is they would mask you. They would put a mask over your eyes or your face, and then they would talk to you in these really weird voices and get in your head.
Nope.
And then when you took the mask or the blindfold off, they would have one of these said skeletons right in front of you. And they claim that it was facing your mortality, and it was supposed to make you stronger. That was their theory behind it. But what it did was it terrified the hell out of a lot of people. And people actually died because during ceremonies, if you did something wrong or you got a wrong answer or something along those lines, they would actually tase you. And then people would go there to audition or whatever you want to call it, but they would have like heart complications or a heart monitor or something, and then when they got tased, that would go on the fritz and these people would die. And instead of reporting it, they would hide the bodies in the building, like in the walls and stuff like that. So no, it's not all just, hey, we're great people, we'll we're a bunch of do-gooders. No.
I've never heard nothing like that about the Freemasons, and they get a bad rap.
Well, it's not the Freemasons, it's the Oddfellows.
That's what I'm saying. The Freemasons get a bad rap, and they ain't doing weird shit with people's bodies.
It makes me wonder if maybe people like historically get them confused because of those secret societies. And I just wonder if it was just confusion between the two groups.
It's just weird.
I do
I,
believe
I
I do
understand.
believe it's like one of the darker sides of American history, but also just being an owner of a funeral home or a mortuary, I just it's not a happy place. Like nobody goes to a funeral home and for to bury somebody and they're in a good mood. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
the owner is because they're raking in the cash.
well, when it was operational, let me just say that when it was operational, people didn't go there for good reasons. So I think that energetically, it packs a punch, and it's unfortunate the mentality that people had back in the day. When I was doing research on this, I was told that American Indians back in that day didn't have value as people, and I assume that's why she was in there. I don't know that for sure. That's speculation on my part. But if it had to happen, I just want to allow people the opportunity to be educated as good as I could possibly convey the story. Because her story matters. And if I can find out who she is, I would love to properly memorialize her because I do believe in memorializing the dead. I think it's important. And I think using my platform to do that is just important. It's important to me. And all of my books, it's all about memorialization of the dead. If that's even a word. Is that even a word? I don't
I
know.
mean, it works. That's pretty cool. Have you noticed like any activity since you brought that in there? Any different activity, I should say? Or what's
So
Brendan doing over here?
that's his Oddfellow skeleton. It's so
Oh,
cool.
Could you imagine taking the blindfold off and having that right in your face?
like
Wow.
first I would think it was fake.
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah,
you're also
this
talking
is
early 1900s. Like, you know, I do know that they made paper mache ones. That's not that, but
No, that's not that. Is that Chucky doll?
yeah.
I
Don't worry about that. So people that are watching are probably going to have questions like, "What brought you to buy this place?"
well, I have been looking for a building for approximately 5 years. I knew that this was something that I always wanted to do. Um, when they say that building chooses you, I completely 1000% believe that. When I was searching through realtor.com, this property was actually listed as a residential property and it had a picture of the outside and all it had was pictures of the second floor. It didn't have any pictures of the first floor. So I thought that it looked very reminiscent of a local funeral home I have where I live. So I searched the address in newspapers.com and I found that it was indeed a funeral home, prior funeral home. At the time that I purchased it, it had been on the market for 2 years. And I started to research it some and basically to make a long story short, I found that the previous owner, Paul Friskel, he was the last one to own it when it was an operational funeral home. In the 1980s, his two daughters and five grandchildren were hit by a train in their vehicle, and they all passed away in that accident. I've worked for EMS for a long time before I became a nurse, and when I went to work at my local EMS station, my boss at the time he had replaced his father. Now his father was also a paramedic, and he was the director of the EMS station or the EMS service that I was working at. And he had went on a call for a little kid, and when he got to the hospital, he had a massive heart attack and he passed away. I come to find later that it was the same accident. And we're over an hour away from each other, like me and the mortuary.
Wow.
Right.
And
So
in fact, my current boss is married to his grandson.
What?
small world.
It is, it is. I don't know. I just don't believe I just don't believe in coincidences. And
Mhm.
this building had been closed as a funeral home since 1998. There's no reason it should have maintained its original funeral home layout, and it did. But I can only assume that maybe the universe saved it for me. I don't know.
Were you like looking for a haunted place to buy? Let
I
me
was.
ask you.
I was.
You were. So have you been like for years looking
Yeah.
or just really?
For 5 years, I had been looking. And actually, what made me place an offer, excuse, I had a stroke. Actually, what made me place an offer on this property was the fact that when I was touring the building to see if it was something that would fit what I was looking for, because my realtor is Stephanie O'Reilly, and she owns McIntyre Villa, so she's also a realtor. So we would go and look at properties and ghost hunt them because, I mean, because we do, because that's how you're going to find out if it's haunted, right? And you can't do that with just like a regular realtor. I mean, they would look at you like you were insane.
So you had the best possible realtor you could for
Absolutely.
what you were doing.
Absolutely. And she works hard too. I mean, she did everything so good. She's amazing. But anyway, we were touring the building, and we were kind of just trying to get a vibe, a feel for it. And it was me, my youngest daughter, Stephanie, and then the seller's realtor was also on property because there was an elevator in the building, and they wanted to make sure everybody was safe. So the seller's realtor had to be present, which I get. So
Hmm.
we were standing over by the flower room, and all of us heard a disembodied voice. It was a scream whisper, is the best way that I can describe it. It was indiscernible words, like you couldn't hear what it said, but it was very loud and it was screaming, but it was in like a whisper tone. And I looked at Stephanie. Stephanie looked at me, and then we both looked at the seller's realtor. And then he actively went to look for the person that was in the building because he made a statement. He said, "We're the only ones in the building, or we're supposed to be. I don't know who that could be." So he turned around and he went looking for this person, and it was all paranormal.
Now
It
you're
was,
saying that the flower room's in this photo here,
yes.
like the
So
window,
where I'm standing in that photo, the seller's realtor was standing right around in there. Yeah.
and that scream came from
Yeah. It
that
came.
room up there.
No, it came from to like where I'm standing. It came to the right of where I'm standing. So it was more kind of like in the garage area, but the embalming room is out in the garage because I still have the original embalming room in the building.
So those of us watching, or those people who are new, who don't know who you are or know that you have this place, um, you let you let groups come and investigate there all the time, right?
Yep, I sure do. I have a website that they can book an overnight on. I do tours by appointment only simply because I do have a full-time job still that I work, and I'm not there every day. So I do tours by appointment, but I'm always happy to do that.
And they
And
can stay overnight and
Uh-huh.
sleep on the premises.
Yes.
Um,
So a lot of people don't understand what they're getting when they rent from me. I've had groups rent Airbnbs the same night because their plan was to come and investigate and then go sleep at an Airbnb because they wanted to be comfortable. The second floor is like walking into a home. It's completely finished. It's temperature controlled. The whole building is temperature controlled. Um, so the upstairs has 5 bedrooms. It has 3 working bathrooms, 3 working showers, and you can sleep in any of those bedrooms. And it also has a full kitchen with pots and pans. You can cook for your group. It has a full-size refrigerator. It's got coffee on the house, hot chocolate, all the feely goods.
and that's great because as a seasoned investigator, I can tell you that most places don't have half of that. So
Yeah.
that's comforting to hear. Also, and I know I've talked to Tori a few times about this place, but I would like you to mention that there's no beds in the
There,
beds for them to sleep on. so you have to bring an air mattress. But I'd like you to say exactly how you told me why you don't have beds in the bedrooms.
I can't properly sanitize them in between guests because I am not there.
That is not what you said.
I said it a lot. I don't adult people do adult things, and I don't think it's fair for other people to come in after and not have a clean bed to sleep on.
That is a great way to put that.
You're being polite, but this isn't TikTok, so you don't have to censor yourself.
They can do it on their own stuff.
Point. We got the point, I think.
I mean, I'm not saying everybody does, but I know it happens. I mean, we're all investigators here. We've all heard, but I want to make the environment as clean and as comfortable as possible. And I know that as I mean, I'm an investigator myself, and I go investigate haunts and stuff. And I just these are the things that I would want, if I were to walk into sleeper mortuary just from the outside looking in. If I'm going to lay on a bed, I want to make sure it's clean.
Right.
And that's not even the only thing. Like, you don't know the environment that other people live in or anything like that. So I just want to make sure everything's clean for people. So
But there's like a gathering room with couches and stuff for you, so you can go back and gather your thoughts and talk about with the rest of your team what they experienced in this area versus that area. So but yeah, we actually and I know you've sent me some videos, one in particular that was recent. Now I'm real big on disembodied voices, so the one that you sent me is pretty impressive, I thought. It has to do with the woman singing, that one.
Yep.
And that, from what I understand, was just recorded not long ago.
It was recorded Saturday night. It is Monday now. So it was 2 nights ago.
That's
2
really
nights
recent.
ago. So
Yeah.
that was pretty good. And I don't know if you want to, I'm sure Ray will roll that clip, but
Yeah, you want to watch it real quick?
Tell us a little bit about what happened before he starts it.
Yeah. So I was finishing up the tail end of a tour, and this was actually the day that I had went to Iowa to pick up the casket, the Oddfellows casket that we were talking about earlier. So this is in the large living room, and like where you see, there's a hallway that's the doorway with like the white light that you see. There's a hallway that goes down there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but on the other end of this hallway is what I call the small living room, and that's where the casket is. So we had set up the casket about 30 minutes prior to that, and I was finishing up the tour, and we were all in the kitchen, and I was basically telling them where the light switches are and letting them know that the coffee was on the house and thanking them for staying. And that is where that is where I caught this singing female. You can hear us talking in the background, but the singing female was none of us.
So it sounds almost like a live person. So those of us who have ever heard, if you've never heard a disembodied voice, I think you're in for a treat. This is a really good one. I've listened to it probably at least a dozen times. So what I heard a female singing, and then what sounded like words. I don't want to say what I heard or what was said, but let's play it and see if everybody else hears it. Now, you may have to turn your volume up for this one if you're watching. So, you ready, Ray?
I'm always ready.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hold on. Got to rewind it. There we go.
Again, run it again. Okay,
so
now it
creepy.
sounds like I love you at the end. Play it one more time.
Oh, it definitely sounds like that. Do you know what the loud bang was?
That was me closing a cabinet.
Okay.
So you hear the singing before the door slam, and then the I love you after. One more time, Ray. One more time.
Like to me, I almost hear "I love you" twice, like before the slam and then after.
To me, it sounds like it's going ooh, ooh, like
Maybe that's what it is. That was pretty good.
no, I don't sing. I can't carry.
Play it one more time.
All right.
Yeah, see, the more I hear it, the more I hear the I love you at the end.
That's so creepy.
And we do have children in the mortuary. People have recorded. There was one night, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Spooky Okie, that goes on TikTok, but she was
Yep.
one of the first groups in the mortuary when I opened it up for booking. She was the first group in. And actually, in the same living room, they caught an EVP of little tiny feet running away, like footsteps, just
So just that disembodied voice in that video that we just watched is enough to make me want to go there. Like that's enough to intrigue me to be like, I want to experience that too.
Like it's enough to make me want to get neck surgery so I can actually go down there.
There you go. There you go.
That was pretty good. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I love disembodied voices
I don't
because
know
they
what-
don't happen very often. And when they do, it's like, oh.
and that's one of the crazy things about the mortuary is we get a lot of disembodied voices and a lot of EVPs, and a lot of them have very human tone. And it sounds like if you weren't present, if you were just from the outside looking in, like if you were to play that video for somebody that had no idea that that was a haunted building, they would think that that was a human being. And that is very reminiscent of what most people catch.
Like when I first was listening to it, I thought the bang was what you were sending me. Like I just thought that was a girl talking in the background.
Yeah, no, that was none of us.
So if you're a paranormal investigator and you're watching this right now, you might want to head down to Iola, Kansas.
Yeah, can you give us the
place out.
website? Can you give us the website address?
Yes, it's sleepermortuary.weebly.com.
Okay.
And
is
then-
oh, go
She
ahead.
actually does a live feed on YouTube also.
Yep, I periodically run a live feed on YouTube whenever the building is empty, when it's not rented. I like to I like to share the property, and I like to talk about it, and give people an opportunity to see it and experience it. And one of the best ways I can do that for free is by YouTube, and I can just live stream certain location or certain areas in the building, just to see what happens. And I'll set up equipment all throughout there. I'll put several pieces out, usually like cat balls, a tripwire, REM pods, and then just let it go. And then I'll get on the feed, later in the evening, and I'll sit there and chat with people that are in the room and stuff.
Now, do you just stream that through YouTube or do you do it on TikTok too?
I stream it through YouTube.
Just YouTube, okay.
She does do TikTok lives while she's walking through there, though.
And
so is your before we started recording, your daughter popped her head in, and I thought that was adorable. Is she still there?
She's in bed now.
Oh, she is. Oh,
Yeah.
That would have been cool to have her, because I'd love to. I have a couple of questions that I'd love to ask. Like, were you scared when you first walked in there, or what do you think of mom owning this place? That type of thing.
Yeah, well, there was the particular time that she was talking about. It was actually kind of cool. It was the night that Haunted Nights came out, and they were they were filming an episode at Sleeper, and Dylan and Steve we were getting ready to go because we finished up the tour, and she accompanies me on the tours because I'm a single mom, and she just comes with me. And so I told them that they could pull around the back and that they could bring their stuff up the big staircase because it's easier that way instead of trying to drag it all up the spiral staircase. So I was moving my car out of the way because it was blocking the garage door. And she was standing in the garage, and I had moved my car up, and then I was kind of backing in, and I was looking at my mirror at her because I wanted to make sure I didn't run her over or anything. And she comes running out of the garage, like clutching her iPad like this, and her mouth was gaping open. And I was like, something's wrong. And when I got out, I'm like, what's going on, kiddo? And she's like, Mom, there's a man walking in the chapel saying your name. And so I immediately thought that it was probably Steve or Dylan had come back in, and they come around the corner at that same time. And I was like, did one of you guys go back in? They're like, no. So yeah, I mean, it typically happens like that when you're alone.
So, and so you've only owned the place this year. So how old is your daughter?
She's 10.
She's 10.
Uh-huh.
And I asked because my daughter, well, she's 19 now, but ever since she was like 11, she, like every house we've lived in, she gets stuff happening to her, and it's crazy. I just found out new stuff the other day, and we can talk about that some other time if you want. But basically, she hears me hollering when I'm not home.
Oh, wow. That happened to me as a kid in the house that I grew up in. I would hear my mom holler for me.
But it's funny how when we're doing this type of thing, even our kids, most people don't realize it, but our kids are affected by this, too. Whether we want to or not, it's awful hard to not ever bring something home with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I wanted to point out another instance. So there's a video that I sent Ray, and I'm standing there in like a stocking cap, and I'm fixing a tripod. Now, when you first turn on that video, you hear an EVP that says "Don't go," and then yep, that one. I was talking because I had a live stream going because they were basically checking my YouTube live stream because this is the first one that I had set up for the mortuary. So I was talking about how to be out of the building at a certain time, and you hear "Don't go" like immediately when you turn that on, and then I hear a disembodied male, and everybody heard it. But
right,
anyway.
well, let's watch it.
Because I got to be out of this building by 1:30 in order to get my kiddo from school on time. So they just got done with the internet just now. What was that? Did anybody else hear that?
I have no idea. I heard that.
I have no idea what that was.
Sounds like a voice in the background.
I'm the only one in the building. I heard that.
So is it right in the beginning? I think I missed it.
Yes, like on the original clip, you can hear it. It's probably, actually, if you play it through, I'll tell you where exactly it is.
Because I got to be out of this building by 1:30 in order to get my kiddo from school
very
on
faint
time.
in this version.
So they just got done with the internet just now. What was that? Did anybody else hear that?
I have no idea. I heard
Just now. What was that? Just now. What was that?
I can hear like a voice in the background.
Yeah.
So is it at like 10 seconds?
It's right when I go to put the tripod down. So go back.
Just now. What was that? Got done with the internet just now. What was that?
It's like a male's voice.
Got done with the internet just now. What was
Now,
that?
for me, like in the moment, it was very, very loud, and it sounded like it was right next to me.
I'll try to. Damn, I keep muting myself. I'll try to enhance it for the viewers. Maybe we can pull it out a little bit.
Okay.
And that's also on the TikTok, the Sleeper Mortuary TikTok page.
Just now. Just now. Just now.
Oh, yeah. Sleeper's Mortuary on TikTok also. So you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got a website address. You're all over the place.
I am. I try to offer several ways for people to see it because I know that investigating is expensive. Like you guys know that, and like travel and all that. I
Well,
just offer different opportunities, and
and I know you can't really talk price right now because this podcast is going to be around for a while, so we don't know if price is going to change at all. But from what you've told me, it is very reasonable compared to some of the other investigations that I've done.
yeah.
So don't let price scare you. Go ahead and look it up. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was one of the things that I was afraid of the most was the price because stuff is expensive. Old buildings come with old problems, and everything that I make goes back into the building. Like I don't um
Trust me, at that price, you don't have to justify it. You're fine. You're fine.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's
So
going on in this picture here, Tori?
So this was taken by Rob Garcia, and this was down in the basement. I had just gotten the stairs down, and people had talked to me about this picture. Some think it's like a light anomaly that's reflecting off some dust that would create that little blurry blobby thing in the middle. Other people wonder if maybe it might be something spiritual. I personally
Oh,
don't know for
you're
sure.
talking about that blurry thing on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, because that looks awfully familiar to oh wow, that looks a lot like the beginning of a manifestation to me.
Yeah.
Like, that one's hard to say, but I don't think it's on the lens.
Can you zoom in? There you go. Look at that. You can see the head. Look at that. You can see the arm, the right arm coming down. What looks like some sort of a shiny part, almost like where the belt buckle would be. You can see the head. You can see where the head hits the shoulders. Both. Oh, now if you look hard enough, you can see both arms and what actually looks like legs. And the right leg looks like it's up a little bit, like it's walking.
It's very like long. So I don't know. Like people like I get being critical about things. You know what I mean? I totally get it. So the way that you're looking, see the thing to the right that has that white on it. It's like a dark like square. So that's an old coal car because this building used to be coal heated and they never took out the coal car. So the coal room is actually right behind that coal car to the right. And if you go straight back behind that blob, that is where the staircase is that goes into the elevator shaft up to the first floor. But yeah, this was a picture taken by Rob Garcia, and
It's
he didn't
interesting.
he didn't think that it was anything. I want to say that he said that he thought that it was just light reflecting off of dust or something, because I mean it is dusty. But yeah, I was just curious about your guys' take. Some people say it's like a spirit, other people say it's a lens flare or dust or whatever, but
Well,
that it's interesting.
immediately, as an investigator, you have to automatically think it was dust or a reflection or something like that. But looking at it now, I don't know. I think it could be something because, like I said, I pointed out a lot of details. There's a lot of details for a blur. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
It's cool.
I'm torn because I'm trying to be realistic and at the same time, wow, I like that.
Yeah. And that I think that's just like the fun part about all of this is the fact that it is new. We don't know what's in there. We speculate, but I think that's part of the fun is trying to figure it out. Like, is this something that's going to occur on a regular basis? Because if it does, then you could say that that's more than likely probably a spirit that's trying to manifest in some way, shape, or form into a photograph or whatever.
It's child size.
Yeah, and we do have evidence of children there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen lens flare. It's not a lens flare, but it could be something from dust. but I don't think it's on the actual lens itself.
Yeah, I don't think it's on the lens because, like, all of the pictures, and I will say this, that he took more than one picture downstairs in the basement, and this is the only one that had this in it.
Hmm. So you said it. What was his name?
Rob Garcia. He used to own Garnett House.
Used to own what?
Garnett House.
One more time.
Garnett House in Kansas.
Arnett House.
Mhm.
I don't know what that is. Never heard of it.
It's about 45 minutes from me. It's the Garnett House and Hotel or Hotel. It's haunted AF.
Oh,
Like it's legit.
so there's a lot of hauntings in the area around the mortuary then.
Kind of, yeah. There's four other haunts within a 4 hour span. Like if you go north 45 minutes, you'll run into Garnett House from me. If you go 2.5 hours north from me, then you'll hit McIntyre Villa. And then Sally House is also in the same town as McIntyre. And if you go 2.5 hours north of McIntyre, then you get Malvern Manor and Villisca and Squirrel Cage. So I guess there's two more than that.
Yeah, Villisca is the one that's on my probably never go to list.
Same. So I will never go again, unfortunately. It's sad. So this was a picture that was found in the basement. I don't know who this child is. If you look at pictures of John Sleeper, this looks very reminiscent to him. I should have sent you a picture of John, but I didn't.
Him as a kid, maybe?
Yes. So there is no name on this picture. Let me pull up a picture of John. Hold on. But to me, I feel like this actually could be John Sleeper. As a kiddo.
So is that why you call it Sleeper Mortuary?
Yes. So a lot of people think that the sleeper is kind of a play on words for like a dead body, but it's actually just an epic surname. This is John Sleeper. I would say
send that to me when we get done. I'll try to put them next to each other.
Yeah, I think they look. If it's not him, then I feel like it's a sleeper descendant of some.
It could be one of his kids, or
yeah. So Sleeper Mortuary was built. The original building was built in 1886 by Lyman Sleeper, and he ran that funeral home up until 1915. In 1915, they had a fire and it burnt the mortuary down. Now, Lyman Sleeper passed away later in the year in 1915. So he never actually saw my building being built. Mm-hmm. My building was built in 1920 to replace the original Sleeper Mortuary.
Did anyone perish when it was burned down?
So this is kind of an interesting theory of mine. No, I have not found evidence that anybody had passed away in that fire or got hurt in it. I have had several mediums come through and say that there's people like that talk about burning and stuff, like they died in a fire, or like they talk about the smoke and things, but I don't know if there was anybody waiting on services in the building when it burnt. Mm-hmm. So then it just kind of makes me wonder, like, do our bodies, are they aware of things that happen when your soul's not in it anymore? And I wonder if maybe that's what people are picking up on. I don't know that for sure. That's just a theory on my behalf, because mm-hmm. as far as I know, nobody passed away in that fire or got hurt.
This seems like a very interesting place. Like, it seems like the more we talk, the more I want to go there. You know, I want to check this place out because, you know, the whole 3 different floors. I mean, but to me, 3 floors, 15,000 square feet, one night is not going to be enough for me. You know, like, I'm going to need at least 2, maybe even 3 nights at this place. and because I'm going to want to go through it thoroughly, you know.
I would
Uh,
love to hear your thoughts on it for sure.
the you know, the disembodied voices are what get me. And if you say you have as many EVPs as you do, then that's even better. You know, that's just, or I should say, just as good. Um, oh, we lost you for a minute.
But yeah, so it was ran by the Sleeper family all the way up until 1960. Now, John Sleeper, the person that I showed you the photo of, he passed away in 1960 at 49 years old. He was on his way back from transporting a body from Olathe, and he fell asleep at the wheel and rolled the hearse, and he passed away in that accident.
Oh my
So
goodness.
see Sleeper Mortuary change over to Porter Kinzer because they bought it from the Sleeper estate. And then it operated as a funeral home all the way up until 1998. And it did have various owners, but the main last owner was Paul Friskel and his wife Pat, and they bought it sometime in the 60s, and they had it until 1998.
I'm just picturing the that poor bastard in the back of the hearse. You know,
Yeah, I didn't know if it was
First-
appropriate to ask if somebody was back there.
first,
I think he had already made the drop off.
oh, okay. I was gonna say first you go through the passing away, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're flipping around in a car and possibly flying out of it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. You know.
I mean, sometimes you just have to try to find something because it all is like when you're dealing with the paranormal and the dead, it's just like I don't know, it can be kind of just sad and scary, and it doesn't always have to be those things, you know what I mean?
Now, I don't know if you want to talk about it, and Ray can edit this out if he wants to, but we talked a little bit about something that happened just yesterday.
Yes.
And if I'll kind of lead you in, but so you went and you got this casket that we already talked about,
Mhm.
and you set it up, and then was it then a couple days later that this happened, or was it the same day?
It was the next day.
The next day.
Yes.
And you were live on TikTok at the time.
It was.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about what you think may have happened?
Yeah, I mean, I can go into it because we know a lot of the same people. I was doing a live stream. I was introducing the casket that I had just bought, letting them know that I was going to do a YouTube live stream. And every time I would go over to the casket and try to show them the casket, the feed kept getting interrupted. It was breaking up. They couldn't hear me. The video was just spinning. So I went into the other room and I restarted my stream because I thought maybe it was just an internet problem at that point. And I was sitting there getting equipment ready for the live stream, and I just was like, I started sweating. Like my armpits started sweating. I started getting anxious. I had a knot in my belly, and I just had an uncontrollable. I mean, I had a panic attack, 1000%. That's exactly what happened. And it was, I'm
And
not
it scared the hell out of you.
it did. It did. And I'm not a person that's very like I don't show emotion like that, especially on live stream. That is not who I am. Like you will never see me drop a tear. I just don't like being vulnerable. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like it. But yeah, everybody saw me freak out. And then I ended my live stream. I set up the YouTube live stream and I got the hell out. And
then 10 minutes later, Brandon calls you.
the poor soul got the brunt of me being a
But we talked it out, right? And you're feeling better now, right?
yeah, I feel a lot better.
And you're going to be just fine walking back into there, right?
I am. I've come to terms with the fact that casket just packs an energetic punch. I mean, I definitely think that people should be aware of that when
Yeah.
they go
Well,
in.
yeah, I don't know. I maybe we should have kept that to ourselves and left it as a little surprise for people that came. There's a little bonus for you here,
Yeah, like, do I think it's dangerous? No. Like, I never got like a doom feeling or anything like I don't want people to think that it's like some sort of demonic mean thing. I don't know why I reacted the way that I did. I don't know if maybe it's just trying to get acclimated to where it's at now.
That's probably the case because you're bringing in different energy and new energy to an already possibly chaotic setup with all the things that you got. Hell, you got a bunch of stuff from me, and who knows what's all attached to that, and then you're bringing in another Oddfellows thing. It's like
And it does,
there's a lot going on there, so it doesn't surprise me one bit.
and it does have human biological material inside of the casket still. Like
Mhm.
it does. Now, I will say that the previous owner of the casket did not report any kind of paranormal activity associated with it. I did not expect it to come with any kind of anything with it. Like, to me, I was perfectly fine purchasing a casket because it's gorgeous and it's an important part of history, and I like to educate on my tours if I can. I was not expecting anything to come with it. Is something with it? I don't know. I don't know, and that has yet to be seen. We'll see. We'll see
Wow.
how.
We'll see what future investigations bring, right?
And also, it's like, how do we know? Because I was thinking about this like later in the evening after I had talked to you. How do we know it wasn't just a resident spirit at Sleeper Mortuary that saw the opportunity because I just brought a casket in and maybe they got mad? Like,
Exactly.
it may not have even been the casket at all.
Hey, it might have been another spirit that was already there that got upset because you're bringing stuff into their home.
And I mean, it could be that, or maybe they just picked that time to tell me their story or to make me uncomfortable, or I don't know. And
Or maybe let me just throw this out there. This is something that just what if what you experienced was a spirit making you feel what they felt?
it could have been. I mean, it could have been. I don't. It, all I know is that it was swift and it was certain, and like I felt it. Like when I started sweating, like I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is happening? Like, I'm uncomfortable. Like I got to the point, like even in the live stream, I had to take like my jacket off, like my armpits were sweating. And then I just felt that ball in my stomach and I felt the panic coming. And I was trying real hard to swallow it down. Like I was trying really hard to swallow it down. And I should have ended my stream long before I actually did, because I thought that I was going to have control over it. And I just did not. Like I went into full freak out mode. Like it was so bad. So
Wow. I'm glad to see that you're feeling better at least now.
Right.
I am. I mean, you heard me. Like you heard me that day. Like
You were a little distraught, which is why I didn't know if you really wanted to talk about it, but I'm glad to see that you're moving on and you're ready to talk about it. That's great. That's moving in the right direction for sure.
I just don't want to scare anybody away from it. You know what I mean? Because
Oh, no. Oh, God. That makes me want to go there more. So, yeah.
now I will say that the previous owner of my building, he did describe a time in the room that the casket is set up in. He did describe a time that he was scared out of the building. He said that he got sweaty, he got nauseous, the room felt occupied, and he left. He didn't describe any anxiety going along with it. And I didn't even think about that instance until I was talking to you on the phone. And I need to have a conversation with him and just see if if we could compare like
Mhm.
stories to see if it was similar because I was in the exact same room I just come from the exact same room that he was in. And that is the room that the casket is set up in that he had his experience in. So, I mean, could be
So
something.
Ray, when we go there, it's the casket room.
The casket room.
That's where we start.
Casket rooms.
It sounds like it. Like they're in the flower room. Is that what you called it?
Yep. And the chapel's actually starting to get quite active too.
Mental note.
Have you
Well, that's
noticed
why I said
like
you got
go ahead.
15,000 square feet. We need to, one night ain't going to do it.
have you noticed more activity as you've allowed people to investigate in there? Like have you noticed it picking up?
I wouldn't say more activity, just different activity. And that's kind of the cool thing is that it's different than when I first got the building. It's almost like it's evolving and it's changing and it's learning. Before, like at the very beginning, it was literally almost all audible voices, like all disembodied voices or EVPs. As we've gone along, now they're interacting with equipment. I know it took like a few weeks. Like there were people that had good luck with some of their equipment, but like I don't know what's complicated for a ghost, but for me, when you're talking about more complicated pieces like REM pods, for example, versus a cat ball. Like cat balls were going off, but REM pods weren't. And now we have cat balls and REM pods going off. And they really love like the tripwire lights. They absolutely love those. I don't know if they're just easier to use. But now we're starting to see a huge surge in like equipment going off, and now voices aren't as prominent as they once were. However, they are still very clear and very prominent, as you can tell from that one video. But you still have them. It's just I don't know. It's like it's lessening in one area and ramping up in another, and it's kind of like a scale, and it goes back and forth. So, so I don't know. It's kind of cool to watch it just morph into what it's going to be.
Well, I'm hopeful that Brandon will buy me a tripwire for my birthday coming up.
The last thing I'm going to buy you is a tripwire.
Dang. What's the first thing?
I
I'll
don't
let you
know.
guys do mine when you come.
Oh, you have one?
I do.
Oh, heck
I
yeah.
bought one. I bought one simply because they were having such good luck with them. Now, I will tell you that they will not set off equipment for me. They will do it for everybody else, but they will not do it for me. I've been trying for months to get a REM pod to go off, and they will not. They
That's
will
cool.
not. But they do the tripwires for me. So I bought one based off of an interaction that happened twice, but they caught it once on camera, and you have a video clip of that as well in the chapel.
Which one is that one?
Let me look at the preview to see what it looks like.
Let's see if I can find one with the chapel.
But basically they had a 12-foot tripwire set up in front of the child's casket that I have down in the chapel. It's the video that I sent you.
Video.
I sent it right after that one.
I bring Chris.
That one's it?
So they had a 12-foot tripwire set
You
up.
hearing that? Why I wasn't even sharing my screen. Dang it. I apologize. I'm new.
No, it's fine. I knew which one it was based
Get
off.
your shit together, Ray. Come on now.
I'm trying, man. Hold on. Okay, can you see it now?
Yep. So basically they had a 12-foot tripwire set up in front of the child's casket. And then they had a 36-foot tripwire set down the length of the chapel. And then they had a REM pod sitting at the end of it. And within a matter of seconds, it set off every single node on both tripwire strings and hit the REM pod at the end.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Video.
What the heck?
Oh, nice. I bring Chris. What? Wow. That's pretty cool.
And that happened to them twice, but that was the only time they caught it on camera.
That was pretty cool. And you said it's, I wouldn't say known, but what you've noticed is EVPs.
Mhm.
We have another EVP on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about
It's-
this video? Let me share it real quick to you.
Sounds good.
How about this one?
Yep, that is, I'll just let you roll it and you tell me what you think it is, and then I'll tell you what it is.
All right, I like that game. Let's do it.
Again. Oh, I heard it. I heard it right in the middle. Do it again. Oh, that's creepy as shit. I love it. That again.
Like I can't understand what it's saying, but
No, but it's creepy as shit. Like right in the middle, right in the middle of the video.
I can tell you. So what you're listening for is there is one voice that says, "Are they dead yet?" And then the other one says, "They're cold."
Again, play it.
Oh, we gotta do that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm getting kind of scared. I'm here by myself. I don't know. Hold on. It's not letting me rewind. There we go. What's that after they're cold? Is that somebody else talking or is that
That was
still
us. Yeah.
Hershey?
But the two voices you're hearing is not us.
Okay, one more time. Just
One
for
more
fun.
time. That is so clear.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Now, did you hear this like with your ears or was it just caught on a recorder?
No, Got on recorder.
Okay.
Now, I will say that we were in the flower room, and with that in mind, the context seems fitting because they, at the mortuary, they did all of their own flower arrangements in house, and that is the flower room, is where that was captured. And so, to me, just looking at it objectively, I think that they're talking about flowers. Like, are they dead yet? They're cold. To me, is about flowers. And
It's
the-
just unbelievably loud.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like we talked about in episode 1, this clip right here is gonna be Brandon's choice for clip of the week.
Aw, thanks.
Oh, that might be clip of the year already.
I like it.
Unless you sent me a better one.
That one is definitely clip of the week for me.
I don't know if I can handle anymore. What's the next one?
Now I do I don't know what else did I send you. Now there was
Hold
oh
on.
okay, so the disembodied whistle that I sent you, I cuss a lot in that because it caught me off guard. Like when Carl,
Here we go.
You said
you-
a whistle?
like you can barely hear it, but it was a disembodied whistle and I heard it with my ears. And I was sitting in the flower room, actually.
And you
The flower room.
cussed?
I did.
Oh no. Hold
I
on.
did.
Oh, we gotta play that one.
Like I want to apologize from us to all you for Tori's cussing on this one.
And you have to listen really close to hear the whistle.
All right, you ready?
All right, volume up. Here we go.
Oh, I heard it.
Did you guys
Oh,
hear
yeah,
that
I heard
fucking whistle? Oh shit.
Are you by yourself?
I am.
All
I
right,
would have said that too.
play again.
Did you guys hear that fucking whistle?
Mm.
Oh shit.
See, to me, that just adds validity to the video.
Like that's a great reaction.
you
Like,
know, that's awesome. I love it.
that would have been me the whole way. Like, oh hell no.
It caught me off guard because I was not because as you can see, like at the beginning of the video, it's in the middle of the day. Like that's daylight.
Oh, wow.
This is like in the middle of the afternoon.
I think it makes it creepier in the daytime for some reason. Like they got the cojones to come out during the daytime to
I
whistle
see
at
you
you.
hovering over the play button. Go ahead.
All right, I'm ready.
Did you guys hear that fucking whistle? Oh shit.
That's great.
That's the
Not
best
even
part.
like that sounded like somebody lip whistling. You know what I mean? Like that's not somebody over there with a coach's whistle or something.
No, I just assume that that ghost is just sauntering along, minding his own damn business and whistling, like, because it was very relaxed. It wasn't like urgent but like for me in the moment, it was incredibly loud. Like I could hear it clear as clear as clear. Like on the video, it didn't pick it up all that good.
Mhm.
But I was on live stream when I caught this whistle. I was just
Nice.
doing like a middle of the day investigation, and that's when this was caught.
Did you guys hear that fucking whistle?
They always get you when you don't expect it.
Right?
Yep.
Now, in that same room, I can send you a clip later, which I mean, you don't have to put it in your podcast, but in that same room, I was sitting there and my buddy Travis was sitting next to me to the left. And I was actually in the same position that I am in this video. And I heard in my ear, clear as day, it was like a whisper, and it said, I want you to go. And I was like, did you just say something? And he goes, no, I was trying to get this REM pod to go off. And I was like, I could have swore I just heard somebody say, I want you to go. And he had a little voice recorder going, and it caught it on their voice recorder. And it was a full disembodied sentence.
That's the modern day version of get out.
Yeah. So that it was a female. I do believe from everything that we've caught, I believe it's Eliza Sleeper that hangs out in there,
Hmm.
which is Simon's wife. Um, I can't even remember how we came to that conclusion, to be honest, because there's just been so many things, but which it doesn't really even make sense simply because I don't believe Eliza was working when that building was built. Lyman, when he passed away, he was an old man, and that was in 1915. And I know that she was older when she passed away. I want to say she was in her 80s. So it's
Mhm.
not like she was working up there. Maybe she had been to the building. I don't know, but I don't know.
Okay, Ray, throw up a picture that picture of the front of the building again. Now, all of the videos that we just saw all happened at this Brady Bunch version of a house.
Yeah.
Like it
I
does
want to go
not
so
look,
bad.
Yep.
it does not have the appeal of the, like, I don't know how to put it in words, but it doesn't look like you're going to get that kind of evidence from this place, which is even better, because
In the middle
then,
of the day.
you don't expect it. And then you get this, amazing, if you're lucky, you get this, amazing evidence from a place that you did not expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say that I know that we can't predict paranormal activity. We can't make them perform. It's not like it's kind of the risk that you run even renting buildings because like you could have a flat night and not have anything happen at all. But I will say, and this is probably going to change, they're going to make me look stupid. But I will say that not one group has left there without experiencing something so far.
That's pretty crazy.
So far.
Excellent.
I want to go there. I'm pretty excited.
Ray, you only live a few hours from me, man.
5.
That's not that far.
From here to Iola is 5. I've
That's not,
already looked. 4.5, 5, something like that.
yeah.
No, it's not that far. It's further than I can drive till I get my neck fixed. But
Do we need to start a GoFundMe for your neck?
well, hell yeah. I mean, I gotta get it fixed anyway. If y'all want to pay me,
I would not be in a big hurry to have neck surgery either. And
I've been putting it off for 2 years.
I hope that it's not as, I just hope that you recover quickly and it's
So do
not
I.
is
Well,
you.
I mean, Katie could drive.
Oh, it's not that. It's just like sitting here right now, like I can barely feel my arms. I've got to get up here in a second. Like it is
Well,
so
how long
painful.
are we into it? How much time we got?
Oh, dude, we're about an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was long. I'm surprised he didn't say anything. I guess we're going 2 episodes with this one, huh?
Man, last time we did that with Ken, they got mad at me.
Yeah, they did.
They're
They
like,
did.
just keep going.
You should have just kept going. Well, yeah, well.
Maybe
So-
I'll make it 2 parts, but we'll premiere them both right after each other. That
Yeah.
way, if somebody
Just
watches
run
it
it. If you're
later-
gonna do that, you might as well just
oh
run
my
it.
God, fine, I'll just run it.
Just run it as one for cripe's sakes.
We do this for you guys.
Is that why we do this? I've
We
been
do.
wondering.
Yeah, well, that's what. And we get to find cool locations like the Sleeper Mortuary in Iola, Kansas.
Right. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add that we haven't talked about yet, Tori?
I mean, there's a lot of stories and things that I tell on the tour. Like my tour typically lasts about an hour and 15 minutes, walking through that entire building and talking about just all of the instances and things.
Mhm.
But there's just so many cool stories that come out of there just prior to my ownership that it's just definitely worth the look. One of the things that I tell people is I had this story is going to take a minute. That's why I was like, I don't know if I want to tell it because it's going to take a minute. And I know you guys are done. But basically,
Give us the short version.
so the entity that went in after it stopped operating as a funeral home was a co-ed style living dorm for the local college kids. They redid the second floor. They moved these children in. Well, they're children to me. They were probably 18, 19-year-old kids, college age. So the story is that one night, one of the boys that lived there had a complete change in demeanor. He ran over to the elevator shaft on the second floor and tried to jump down. The other students that were living on that floor tackled him and he was unable to jump down the elevator shaft, and he started tossing them off like they were rag dolls. He ran down the hallway on the second floor, hit the spiral staircase, and ran out into the middle of the street, where his friends then again tackled him in the middle of the street. I don't know what happened to him after that. I do know that the other college kids said that he seemed possessed and like he had superhuman strength. Every single college kid, according to the story, packed up their stuff and moved out that same night. I can't verify that story, but what I can tell you is that it was only a college dorm for 3 months.
Wow, reminds me of the cameraman from Demon House.
Yeah.
The movie, The Demon House, with the cameraman. You remember that with Zach Baggins?
So that is one of the darker stories that comes out of there. Like, but then again, a lot of like trying to figure out this history and just trying to use discernment and trying to figure it out and make it as accurate as possible. It can be hard. And I've already changed that story because what I was originally told, what I got from the conversation is that he actually did jump down the elevator shaft. But I've come to find out that that's not how that went. And the version that I just told you is the more accurate version, which made sense because the original story, I had questions because when you look at the elevator shaft, there's no way nobody could jump down there and not be hurt. Like, how is he then going to run down to the middle of the street?
Right.
It didn't make sense to me. Now it makes more sense.
I'm not gonna lie, like I've had a lot of groups. I shouldn't say a lot. Every group I've talked to that's been to your place has said it is extremely active.
Really? That's
Yeah.
good. That's good to hear.
Like I want to get down there so bad.
I hope you do sooner rather than.
I think after this airs, you're gonna get a lot of people that want to come down there.
I hope so. I love having people and I love sharing it, and I'm excited. I'm always excited. I usually, if people go live there, I will definitely participate in their live streams. I will be in there and I'll share it out and talk and all that stuff.
So before, but I would be wrong if I didn't allow you to kind of walk us through the process for those people who do want to make a reservation. Like, what's the first step they need to do to get a hold of you or to set up an investigation? Like, tell us what you expect from a potential investigator to come down and make a reservation.
So basically, what they do is they go to my website at sleepermortuary.weebly.com. And if you hit the calendar tab, it will take you to the page that has my online calendar. So every block of red is a reserved date. Those are dates that are already taken. So you can pick any other date outside of that if you go up to like the calendar tab, if that's what you were showing.
I was just looking at your website.
Oh, okay.
All
Well,
right, here we go. Calendar.
yeah. So the calendar, it's all online, so you can see what days are reserved and which ones are open. And then where you see reserve your overnight, you just fill out the form. It will send me an email. And once I get your email, I will confirm your date and send you an information packet that tells you how to pay your deposit and basically tidbits of whatever information I find useful for other people to know.
It looks like your weekends are pretty booked.
Mm-hmm.
They are like every Saturday is taken, I think, through July
June.
almost.
So, like, if you guys want to go, you better get on there quick because
Well, at least you know that during the week it's pretty open. So if you want to go during the week,
that's
you
when
can
I'm
go
going.
next week.
Yeah.
You know.
And a lot of people had questions on whether or not they could book during the week, and they absolutely can. So once their deposit is paid and the month that they have reserved, they'll get an email that will give them a PIN number to the keypad on the door. Operates just like an Airbnb, so you guys can get in and out. Unfortunately, I can't tour all groups because I have a full-time job outside of this and I can't be in town all the time, but I do tour the groups that I am off for. But yeah.
That was going to be my next question is, are the tours automatic? But apparently they're not if you're not there.
Right. Well, in the nights that I am working, that I'm unable to be there to tour, I do offer a video tour option where we FaceTime and I will tour them through the building if they need it. Tell them where all the light switches are, tell them the stories and the evidence. So I am always happy to try to accommodate.
I
That's really
think
cool.
in the future you might want to just make a video and
Yeah.
post that on the website so you don't have to constantly do it for every group. I would put a link so that they can click on it and this is everything you need to know. Boom, done. And then you never have to do it again.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think of that, to be honest.
Yeah, that would save you boatloads of time.
I'm still
That's
learning.
cool. Awesome.
So I hope you enjoyed this little interview / podcast / bullshit.
I did. I always love the opportunity, and I love hanging out with you guys. I don't feel like we talk enough.
So
Well, I
but, yeah,
definitely
wanna-
appreciate you being our first guest of season 2. Like,
Yes, thank you very much for
this was
joining
a
us
great way to
tonight.
start out.
Thank you for having me. It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah. So well, again, so let's recap for those of you who want to know. She is Paranormal Tori on TikTok, Sleeper Mortuary in Iowa, Kansas, 15,000 square feet for you to roam around in. And you can also check out Haunted Sleeper Mortuary on TikTok, and check out her live broadcast on YouTube at symbol Sleeper Mortuary in the search bar. That's about it. That's about all we have. I think we're pretty much out of time, I would think, by now. But yeah, thanks.
We might
again
have
for
gone
coming.
over by a little.
Yeah, by a little bit.
By a little bit.
But yeah, thanks for coming in and joining us. in the next few episodes, I do have some ideas that Ray doesn't even know about. I do have a medium that is fairly popular on TikTok that is willing to come in and be a guest. And she said, just get a hold of me and we'll talk it out, and she'll come in. And I would like to bring a few different mediums in. I'm trying not to play favorites, but you know how I am. But to compare theories and techniques and stuff like that, I think that would be really interesting. What do you think, Ray?
Are they psychic mediums?
Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
You ain't gonna tell me a name or nothing?
Well, I'll tell you a name. I'm just not going to tell you on here in case things don't work out.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah. So again, thanks, Tori.
Yes,
and
thank you, Tori.
I'm sure we will all be coming down there at some point. And don't forget about our deal that we started talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
you
Yeah,
bet.
thank
No
you.
problem. All right. I guess that ends episode 2 for season 2. Again, I'd like to thank Tori. My name is Brandon. I guess we'll see you next week. Have a great night. Ray will say goodbye, I'm sure.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you, Tori. This was fun.
We'll see you all next week.
Bye.